and attend the secret level. The Christmas update for FNAF Help Wanted's flat mode was something interesting. It created a new era in the pizza party minigame that you had to go to instead of ending the game. Everyone was making videos about this new, never before seen location, and I was excited to check it out for myself. That was a big mistake. I get to the back room in the pizza party minigame once again, and this time look to the right where I see a new door open up. I click it and the screen goes black. But when I can see, the level is nothing like what it was shown on YouTube. Maybe they had a YouTube safe version, maybe Scott sent them a copy with another room, maybe they were planning it all in unison, but my god, this was horrific. It was still outside that coming soon billboard like the original, but this time it was like a meet Santa kind of thing too. There were kids lining up to sit on Santa's knee and tell him what they wanted for Christmas so their parents could know. And I say were because, well, I don't think they're waiting in any lines anymore. The snow was red and soaked in what I can only guess was their children's blood, and the bodies still laying there. 15 kids, the 15 victims of Purple Guy. The Santa was still there. I figured he was dead too, but instead, he removed his beard and somehow it was glitch trapped. I don't know how I didn't see it before. It felt like when Harvey Dent doesn't realize it's the Joker until he takes his face mask off. Glitch Trap stood up and I quickly turned off my game before he had the chance to add me to his collection. In a night tree trimming. I was home after a long day of work. My girlfriend was coming over in a couple hours and my Christmas tree still hadn't been decorated. My girlfriend had already said that she was sick of decorating trees since she did one at her mother's and then one with her father. They had been separated since she was 15, nearly 10 years ago. I've been playing a lot of video games lately to pass the time before going to sleep since she had been so busy, and recently I've been playing Five Nights at Freddy's, an indie game series that really blew up, but I can't see why. It's not scary. At least, I didn't think I was scared. As I started putting my silver and blue ornament balls on the tree, something I plan to sign into conversation later, I thought I saw something standing behind me in the reflection of the blue run. I spun around and there was nobody behind me. I put a silver one up and I think I see something again, but this time I saw it properly. It looks like a giant chicken with arms and legs holding a cupcake? It was looking at me from my closet. I turned around and the door was closed. I went to check inside, but when I opened the door, there was nothing. I checked the reflection and it also had nothing in the closet anymore. I figured I was just hallucinating since I was tired and had been playing that game so much. But then I heard the closet door slam. I called my girlfriend and told her not to come. It's now 5 AM and I just need to wait until the sun comes up. And A plus trap. I love the Five Nights at Freddy series. I've been a fan since the first game and I love the series even more every time a new game comes out. I have them all and I love playing them, especially at night in a dark room on weekends when I don't have school. For Christmas, the only thing I wanted was a plush trap doll, a character from FNAF 4 that really creeped the hell out of me. He was like a smaller version of Springtrap, and there was this Etsy shop that described their dolls as faithful recreations. So I asked my parents for that and only that since it was fairly expensive. Luckily I was able to get the doll as well as a couple other things for Christmas, which was a nice surprise for me. But for the rest of the day I was running around playing with that doll. At the time I didn't realize what a big mistake I had made, but that Etsy shop wasn't lying when they said faithful recreation, although they should have included the whole moving in your sleep thing. He only moved a little the first few nights, slumping over and falling off the chair, but after that it got freaky. He would climb onto the bookshelf or on the top of my dresser, but wherever he was always looking at me when I woke up. Last night he woke up on my bed. He was laying on my other pillow, staring at me. My parents didn't believe me. Joked that that's what the faithful recreation meant, but now I'm terrified. I've painted a red X on the floor, and I hope that I can stop him on it. And it's 7 VR. The FNAF VR Christmas update didn't really change the gameplay. It fixed some bugs and added some decorations, but the gameplay was the same. Some places didn't even have the new decorations, like the night terrors for example. I don't know why a kid would want to decorate his room for Christmas, but hey, I'm not the one to judge. Especially if that kid is meant to be in a coma. But for some reason, the animatronics were dressed up. They were wearing Santa hats and left footprints of snow behind like they had just gone outside. This makes them easier to track, but they were also quick, like a kid waking up their parents at 5 AM on Christmas morning quick. They had no regard for the amount of time it takes to get to the other hallway. As soon as they were gone, boom, they were on the other side. I don't know how they thought this would be possible, especially with Nightmare Fredbear. Fredbear was wearing a full Santa outfit, with the coat, the boots, the hat, everything. Maybe it was supposed to be comforting, but I was never able to survive until even 2 AM, let alone 6. Santa Fredbear is now my sleep paralysis demon. And at 6, the joy of Christmas. It's an early night on Christmas Eve. I was sitting in my living room watching my favorite Christmas movies from when I was growing up. The Santa Claus, Home Alone 1 and 2, Frosty the Snowman, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I'm sure you know them. But for some reason I felt like something was watching me. I felt like I could turn to my left at any minute and someone would be standing there. This wasn't wasn't entirely false, since in a few hours I would see the face of true terror, but never in my wildest dreams did I think my own creations would watch and attack me. Hello. My name is Scott Coffin. You may know me as the creator of the Five Nights at Freddy series, but this isn't an update, this is a goodbye. You see, a few hours after finishing the Santa Claus with my family, they went to bed, eager for Santa to bring them a bountiful harvest of gifts. But as I placed them down under the tree, I looked to my left and see a big purple foot, as clear as day. I knew that foot. It kept me up constantly while I was making the first game. It was meant to be blue, but the lighting made it look weird. Bonnie. I stand and see the others are not too far behind. They look mangled, destroyed, as if they had to climb through hell itself in order to escape the game world. When the other three arrive, Bonnie breaks the window and they pile in. They knew this house as well as I did. I guess they were created by me, so it makes sense. I quickly barricade my children's room in a futile attempt to save them from the unhindered wrath of my creation, but I know they're safe. They're here for me. Halfway through number 5, Twisted Christmas. I was out late playing with my sister. Well, it wasn't really that late. It was 9 p.m. and we were still sledding. We eventually fall off the sled and stand up. My sister threw a snowball at me, so of course we had a full-out battle. I couldn't just let her do that. But that's when the snow started moving. We ran on top of the hill to get a better view, and some patches of snow had started shaking as if they were alive. Eventually the snow falls and we see what's really going on. Robots climb out of the holes in the ground like a horror movie. They were old and rusted, like they hadn't been out of the ground in 40 years. They were moving slowly since they were old and cold, but there were many. A bear, a fox, a wolf, and what I think is supposed to be a rabbit. They were horrifying. And then they saw us. They all looked at us in unison. These things were like zombies with the way they came at us slowly. My sister was terrified, too scared to move, so I did the only sensible thing. Grabbed her, the sled, and ran. I ran past the school whose hill we were using and the robots were long gone, but that wasn't gonna stop me. I kept running as fast as I can all the way home. When I got there, I noticed that I had the sled, but not my sister. I swore I grabbed her. Where the hell did she go? It had 4 houses on the hill. There was 1 house left on Santa's Christmas route. It was alone on a hill in the middle of what seemed like nowhere. There was an old rundown barn in the distance at the bottom of the hill, but other than that and a driveway, there wasn't really anything else. This was the last one, the Aftons. Michael had been naughty, so he was getting coal. However, his little brother had been through so much. Santa lands on the roof and climbs down the chimney, but this was a longer climb than usual. When he gets out, he seems to be in the basement, surrounded by robot parts and a giant vat of some boiling liquid. It looked like hot metal, but Santa could feel something else coming from it. It felt like the metal was crying. He was about to turn around when he heard the click of a shotgun. "Who are you and what are you doing down here?" a deep voice said. "Haven't you ever heard of Santa Claus, William?" Santa said. "Put the gun down and let me go." William started lowering the gun. Bang! Shot Santa. Getting close to the end into number 3, presents. My dad and stepmom were weird. They always had some quirk that they had to include in the Christmas gifts, whether it be wrapping boxes in boxes, or if it be wrapping the gift multiple times with different wrapping papers only to watch us and get a chuckle every Christmas morning. This year they chose to put everything in those wind-up boxes that's like a mini jump scare. Like the ones that play Pop Goes the Weasel and shoot out a clown. They said that they replaced the clowns and that if we wanted our presents we'd have to work for it. One of them also still contained a clown, and if we found that, then we'd get an extra special present. My brother and I went through all the different boxes trying to find the clown. I opened 4 and he opened 3 before he found it. When he found it, my dad brought out an extra big box. It wasn't gigantic or anything, but it was around 50% bigger than the others. He said that we had to open it together, so that's what we did. Dun 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 dun. As soon as it popped out, it jumped at us. This weird decaying doll that looked like a malformed rabbit. My brother and I ran scared, but it grabbed his leg and started clawing at it, drawing blood and making him scream. Eventually he stopped, and then it was on to me. As I lay there, bloody and dying, I looked up to see my father bring in 2 more robots, aside from the one that was our stepmom, one with a golden head and the other with orange pigtails. I never understood why he was so obsessed with those things, but I guess that's what I get for being an Afton. In it too, winner winner. 'Twas the night before Christmas. The whole gang was gathered. The bunny, the fox, and even the mallard. With the stockings hung by the chimney with care, we were in the home of Freddy Fazbear. The pizzeria was silent, as quiet as ever. They had but one chance for a final endeavor. They grabbed at the chicken so fast and so quick, they put her in the oven and cooked up the chick. When she was done, oh it was so tasty, they ate chica fast, and they had to be hasty. For the security guard with his new badge was due, he had been working there for about a day or to. He arrived on the scene to find such a cluster, so the animatronics gathered all the strength they could muster. He ran to his room, he shut the doors hard. Let's go back to the stage and play the off card. They returned to their station and stood very still. He opened the doors and thought he was safe until they came at him with frivolous force. He was there for 5 nights, then ran as fast as a horse. Finally, in at number 1, Puppet. It was Christmas Eve. I was so excited I couldn't sleep. I was laying in bed until I could fall asleep, but no matter what, I couldn't. Eventually, I heard footsteps on the roof. Santa was here! I had to fall asleep quickly, otherwise he would leave. I quickly shut my eyes, but as I do, I feel a hand on my shoulder. I look up and I see what I think is a puppet. It had no eyes, red cheeks, and purple streaks down its face. It motioned for me to follow it. I figured it was trying to help me see Santa, so I did. We get down to the living room and I look to the tree. No Santa. I get upset because he must have left, but I hear something in the chimney. I jump for joy, but the puppet moves in front of me. As I look around to see Santa, something else comes down the chimney. It looks old and torn and dirty, like it had just dug itself out of a grave. It looked like a wolf, but bigger and scarier. The puppet moved me back, getting me out of the way, and motioned for me to run out the door. I didn't know what to do, at least until the giant fox came bursting through my back window, carrying the body of my father, who was dressed in a Santa costume. I closed my eyes, then everything went cold. And at 10, Christmas Carol. It was just a normal game of Among Us. Normal meetings, normal rounds, normal game. But for some reason, once that Chris dude joined, things got nuts. Dude was somehow wearing Christmas gear in November, and he was acting like it was Christmas Eve. He was wishing everyone a Merry Christmas in the meetings, and never really talked about where he was or what he was doing. And when we voted him out because of that, we only saw that he wasn't the imposter. The rounds after that are when it got really weird. After meetings, he would only speak using the lyrics of Christmas carols, and most of the time it didn't make sense in game. We asked you where you were when the body was called, not do you want some figgy pudding. It started getting worse. Chris just started spamming his carols in the chat to make it impossible for anyone to talk, and then whenever we tried to vote him out or kick him, we couldn't. It was impossible to kick him or vote him. He had somehow breached the normal capacity of the game. I haven't played around the holidays since, so I never have to deal with that Chris dude again. And at 9, Gifts. It's Christmas Eve at Mira HQ. We're still working though we should be home with our families. That's just what Mira does. We tried to make the most of it by doing a secret Santa at the office. We drew names for the crewmates and then got something small. It had to fit within a certain dimension. I got cyan an ornament with the entirety of the original animated Grinch on it. We group near the end of the day and pile everyone's gifts into the center so nobody knows who got it. We have to guess, and if we guess it right, then we get a candy cane. Everything was going well until it got to me. Cyan loved my gift, even guessed it was from me, but when it was my turn, things got scary. I opened up my gift and it was a hand, but not a full hand, a hand cut into several pieces so it could fit in the box. I dropped the box in shock and some people thought it was a funny joke, but then it started bleeding, and they knew it was real. They locked down the HQ so nobody could leave. All 10 of us were accounted for, but nobody admitted to who got me this, I can't even say present. We all started accusing, saying they saw some people not working today, so it must have been them, or that they sound different, so maybe it's really not Lime. But then I remember, I got Cyan the Grinch ornament because they hate the movie. And at 8, we are Santa's elves. The game was normal, everything was fine, until a few of our randoms left and we got 3 stooges. At least that's what I called them. In reality, they were called Santa and the elves. I don't know what their deal was, maybe they were on a call or something, but it seems like whenever one of them was the imposter, the others would defend that person until the cows came home. But it's when Santa became the imposter that things really got weird. Instead of the usual dead body, instead we'd find gift bags, like the ones that Santa uses to carry around the presents for the kids. One of those. And then you'd have to open it before you could reveal the body and be able to report it. I guess giving Santa more time to finish his cooldown. Nobody believed me the first time. The other times when other people found the bodies, they realized I was right. We voted off Santa, he had the most votes, but for some reason an elf went out of the airlock instead. This happened the next time we voted him too. He managed to win the game by calling a sabotage and killing us. I don't know what kind of hack he was using, but this wasn't a Merry Christmas. And at 7, Switch. Among Us for the Nintendo Switch, that's so cool! I got it as an early Christmas gift from my parents, but somehow they found a cartridge. They said they got it at a yard sale recently and I didn't question it. I was just too excited. I throw the game into the Switch and play instantly, eager to play the game I saw everyone playing online. But this one felt different. I can't really explain how, but it felt odd, like something was going to happen. When I was playing, I got a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Eventually I was the imposter and this feeling just went away. I felt just fine while being the imposter, and my pet slug would follow me around and I would kill as many people as I could. When the round was over, my slug was sliding around the screen with joy, and I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. I didn't even have the pet DLC. As soon as the windscreen faded, the slug seemingly jumped out of the Switch onto my face. I tried screaming, but it was covering my mouth. I struggled to get it off, but eventually I just stopped. I was happy. That feeling in my stomach was gone, and I could do what makes me happy forever. And at 6, Double Trouble. My family had just finished a game of Among Us. My sister and I were bombarding them, trying to get them to play so that they finally caved to shut us up. It was fun. My dad even accidentally admitted to being the imposter. But when the game ended and we had dinner, there were 2 of my sister. We didn't know how. It was Christmas Eve, so we were having Christmas dinner, and when I look up, I noticed 2 of them sitting at the table. My family instantly got extremely confused. There's only supposed to be 1 of her. How were there 2? One must be an imposter. They must have gone at us through the game. We don't know how it happened, but my sister and the duplicate were as confused as we were. They didn't know what we were talking about, almost as if they couldn't see each other. Saying things like, I've always been here, and I've always been me. But we had to deal with one of them, and it had to be the right one, otherwise we would all be goners. My dad grabbed the shotgun, and my sister started crying. The other one was in an argument with my mom and didn't see the shotgun, so he shot that one. As the body lay on the floor, my real sister started crying over it, yelling at us, asking us why we killed her twin. Halfway through number 5, bah humbug. I was playing a normal game of Among Us when suddenly everyone else left, all but 1 other. They told me I would be visited by 3 ghosts tonight. Each would be trying to get me to change my ways since I was playing with hacks. I laughed it off and just wondered how the game hadn't ended yet. I joined another game and was instantly sus of White. They were following me the whole time and not doing any tasks. But at the first meeting, when I planned on bringing this all to light, White wasn't an option. That's when they started typing, saying they were the ghost of Among Us past. They showed me glorious lobbies with no hackers and very few people in game since it hadn't really taken off yet. The next round was the same thing, but this time with the Among Us present. They showed me all the other hackers and even myself ruining the game for these people, and the ghost of Among Us future showed me where the world was headed, with nobody playing the game and the hackers having killed it since we kept finding ways around the devs' barriers. I can't take this anymore. I'm sorry for what I've done, but I won't allow myself to do it any further. This ends tonight. And at 4, Run Run Rudolph. The imposter was on my tail, literally. I was playing Among Us dressed as Rudolph and I was one of the only 2 remaining. Me and another both had 1 task left. The other had just completed his, but the imposter knew I was the only one who could save us now. Why didn't I do upload earlier? I run as fast as my little legs can carry me as I make my way past admin multiple times, hoping for a chance to swing in and upload my data. The kill distance was short, but so were my legs. The imposter basically had to be on top of me to kill me, and we didn't have any emergency meetings left. Eventually, somehow I lose him and book it back to admin. I'm there waiting as the files upload. 3 seconds remaining. 2 seconds. 1. As I see the 1 come up on screen, the imposter pops out of the vent. I see him run up to me, and just as the task says complete, I get a kill animation. When this happens, my screen goes black. No win, no lose, just black. With a bright red dot in the center that is getting brighter. So bright, it's blinding. And at 3, Gingerbread Men. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. That's how the story goes. Well, with hackers in an Among Us lobby, things never go as expected. This one guy came on. He was in a brown suit and had called himself the Gingerbread Man. This didn't get any easier as he started duplicating himself, saying that we were all becoming gingerbread men. I was the last one remaining, and all of his gingerbread men were after me. It's like some weird Christmas horror movie that would be released on Netflix like a day after Christmas, but no matter what, I couldn't get away. They were running in sync like it was the weirdest boy band ever. Boys in Motion had nothing on the gingerbread men, especially when they got to me. Once a part of their hive mind, I saw what their goal was. Hey, come open your door, we have a surprise for you. And at 2, Polus. Polis is a cold planet, so we got used to the cold. But whenever the Christmas spirit starts popping in, we know to bundle up because we all want to get in that Christmas spirit that we miss at home. This Christmas we had a plan to convince all the little crewmates that Santa was real. Red was gonna dress up in a Santa outfit and drop off the presents we've already gotten. Mira was able to transport them from Earth so we can have as much of a Christmas as possible on the new planet. At least until Walmart moves up here. That Christmas Eve, we convinced our children to sleep in the living room so they could see Santa even if they fought it because they didn't want to be naughty. But instead, Santa came through our windows instead of the chimney and, well, I'm sure you can guess what happens next. Red was suspicious from the start, but we never expected Kris Kringle to be an imposter. Finally, in at number 1, Santa was the imposter. It's a quiet night on a spaceship on Christmas Day. Me along with the other crewmates are sleeping soundly in our chambers, when all of a sudden we hear bells jingling outside. Some of us wake up and head out. There's a man in a Santa costume carrying a sack of what I'm assuming is presents. We don't know which one of us is the Santa, but I look around me and see orange, yellow, and blue, so it's not one of them. The Santa sees us looking at him and runs away. The color of his spacesuit was covered by his Santa suit and beard, so only the visor was poking out. We follow, but since they were carrying a bag, they weren't that far ahead. They ran back to our chambers, dropping the bag outside the door. We look inside the bag as we get there, and what we see inside wasn't a cluster of presents, but rather a dead body of one of our crewmates, without their suit. We head to the chambers and turn the light on. We yell at everyone to wake up, but see the Santa suit on the floor. The other 6 roll over and look at us, confused as to what's going on. But one of them is an imposter. We explain the situation and Lime doesn't seem all that razzled. He claims it's because he just woke up, but we know better. We take him and throw him out of the airlock. He won't last long on that oxygen tank. We come back in proud of finding the one who killed our friend, but as we get back to the chambers, 2 more bodies are in the sack. We hear a gun cocking. And a ho ho ho. And it's an ho ho ho. It's Christmas Eve and the sun's going down. All alone in my room, there's no one around. Turn off my light and my TV on. I load up Fortnite, gonna play all night long. Load into the game, what do I see? A player named Santa just destroying me. It was surely a hack, but when I looked for a report, there was no button, none of the sort. I asked all the others if it would be a bother, but they said sorry, there's no one like that, my brother. Nobody could see him, no one but I. This explained why my character was the only to die. As I slowly started bashing controller to desk, I heard a little ho ho ho, and then he said I was next.
Coming in number 9, we have Up Too Late. It's hard for any kid to go to bed on time when it's Christmas the next day, you're too excited. But this creepypasta will make sure that you are sound asleep on Christmas Eve. A boy named Tommy was up late on Christmas Eve playing Fortnite. He started to get some strange messages from someone in his squad, someone who wasn't one of his friends. They started to send him messages. At first they were casual, just asking to be friends. Then they started to get more extreme. They stated that he was in danger and that he needed to get out of his house. He just blocked the guy and kept playing Fortnite. But then he got messages from another account. This time it was saying that it was his dad. He was saying that the person in his father's room wasn't actually his dad, but an imposter. Then he started to tell him very detailed things about his father and his personal life that only someone close to him would know. This started to freak him out. The mystery squad member then told him that he needed to get out of the house and that there was a van waiting for him outside to rescue him, and if he didn't leave now, he would die. Eventually he gave in and ran out of the house, and sure enough, there was a van there. He climbed into it, but inside wasn't his father. It was a man he had never seen before. Then he felt a needle in his arm, and he was slowly passing out, and he saw the stranger smiling back at him. See, if Tommy had been sleeping, none of this would have ever happened.
And it ate Silent Night. It's the eve of Christmas and Fortnite was quiet. Nothing made a sound, not even a rocket. All the children waited for the father of the season, but something was wrong and no one quite knew the reason. They waited all night, even into the morn, but no one heard Santa, not even a snore. They all emerged fueled by their rage, so some started fighting and everyone engaged. They were all shooting, blasting, and more. Some hid in their homes, but didn't barricade the door. The aggressors broke in, it all ended in a blast. They were all begging for Santa to haul ass. For once Santa arrived, the skirmish would end, and Christmas could start, and this just might trend. They waited and destroyed them all. The last few convened at the entertainment hall. They had a nice feast before the last fight, then accepted defeat and gave one man the right. They all lay there frozen, they missed Christmas morn. What they just didn't see was that it was December 24th. Big oof.
Coming in number 7, we have the Christmas skins. Skins are a huge part of Fortnite and they keep everyone coming back again and again. I mean, when you hear Master Chief is in the game, that's a huge inspiration to jump back in and unlock the skin that will make you look like Spartan 117. Well, in this next creepypasta, we have someone who wanted to unlock all the Christmas skins, and he was playing in the Dolph skin because it looks cool and it was his grandpa's name. He was playing for hours, but then he noticed something very strange. The Dolph skin started to look like it was decaying. Our player thought that maybe this was a glitch because this was super strange and didn't make any sense. Maybe the Halloween skins were mixing with the Christmas skins, but the more he lost, the more the Dolph skin looked like it was dying. He took a break from the game and then went downstairs. There was a Christmas letter for him on the kitchen table that had no return address. He opened it and read it, and it said, "If you want to save him, you must win 5 without dying." In that moment, his mother walked into the room to tell him that his grandfather was sick and in the hospital.
And at 6 snowballs. The Fortnite winter was fun. We had balls in our hands. They were made of snow. Don't go there, man. The snow was not harmful, just meaningless fun, until the players came by and called us kids dumb. The snow changed to ice, quite easily in fact. We jumped on the players and made our attack. We pummeled them with ice. It was quite the show. The battlefield was covered in bright blood-soaked snow. We took all their bodies and prepared a sweet treat. We ripped off their faces. We do love to eat. The banana was tender, frozen from snow. The blob was delicious. He tastes like jello. There was also the man. His body still bled. We carved him up quick. He was not yet dead. We cooked up the breast, the thighs, and the seat. When it comes to Fortnite winter, we will never be beat.
Coming in number 5, we have run, run, run as fast as you can. Gingerbread is a very important part of Christmas. Without it, it just wouldn't be the same. But sometimes that Christmas tradition can be a little less fun. This creepypasta follows a boy who loves Fortnite, and he was lucky enough to get a bunch of Fortnite-themed things to bump up his Christmas. His mom got him a Fortnite Santa hat, she got him a Fortnite Christmas sweater, and his mom bought him gingerbread men in the shape of Fortnite characters. This was amazing. He couldn't wait to jump into all of this stuff and enjoy it. His mom told him he needed to wait to eat the cookies until after dinner, and she stuffed them all into a tin and put them on top of the fridge. Later in the day, she went out and he saw this as his chance to eat some of these cookies. He grabbed a chair, then he used it so he could get to the top of the fridge. He opened up the tin, and then all of the cookies sprang to life. It sounds like it should have been a miracle, but they were all holding Fortnite guns. The cookie said you weren't supposed to eat us, and then fired a shot at the boy, but it missed. He then started to run away, and the cookie said, "Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch us, we're the gingerbread men."
And at 4, Operation Snowdown. The storm was over. It was just snow. It was replaced with a glass ball. The arena was now a globe, with us becoming one giant blood-filled snow globe. The map was covered in white. It would soon turn to red. The battle bus floated over a giant snowman. I jumped off and landed on his carrot, but for some reason it wasn't his nose. There was a burst rifle at the tip of the carrot, and 3 players below me. They didn't have weapons, so I took them out easily, and then I went through the rest of the game, eventually placing second. When the round was over, however, the victor didn't get the usual #1 victory royale. Instead, they got the trophy of a snow globe we were playing in, along with all the players that were playing in that round. We could run around the map and still interact, but we were being held in a big glass bulb. In celebration, the victor threw the globe onto the ground, resulting in us losing our final life.
Coming in number 3, we have the Christmas event. Fortnite always has these massive events that pull in the whole community. I mean, there was just a massive crossover with Marvel that led to a huge event with Galactus. Well, there was one event that was housed in a creepypasta that doesn't seem as fun. This creepypasta follows Christine. She says that she was playing Fortnite and was so caught up in the game while everything was Christmas themed. She was so excited to be running through the world, and then she got a notification in-game that the Christmas event was about to start. What was this? She had never heard about this before. Where was this event coming from? Was it something she should have known about? Or was Epic screwing up and releasing a Fortnite event early? She didn't care and she jumped in. In that moment she got dizzy. She felt like she blacked out. When she came to, she was freezing cold. She looked around and it was endless forest covered in snow, and she had a pickaxe in her hand. Oh no, she was in the game. Whoa.
In it too, Fortnite before Christmas. 'Twas the Fortnite before Christmas, and all through the streams, players were visualizing Victory Royale in their dreams. They hung up their rifles by the chimney with care, so Santa could treat them with all the best scared. They waited and hoped that under the tree, Santa would leave them the victory key. But when Santa arrived at the Twitch house so late, he took all the rifles and planted his bait. The streamers rose on a bright Christmas day. I even heard sleigh bells, said Pokimane. Some accused Santa of simping, but not for long, because that word was banned on Twitch in her Discord. Ninja was the first to open a gift. He unwrapped the presents and did it real slick. For some odd reason, they all heard a click, then heard Santa cheering, "Victory Royale for Saint Nick!"
And coming at the #1 spot, we have the Christmas theme. It was the night before Christmas and everyone was sleeping. Not a peep could be heard, not even a mouse, except for one boy who stayed up late staring at a screen. Just one more match is what he said but didn't mean. It was the Fortnite Christmas event and some challenges were left. There was a holiday skin that had a chin with a cleft. He wanted it so bad he couldn't fall asleep, but right when the match started, the Christmas theme didn't keep. The world changed into something harsh. Death and despair was nothing sparse. The reindeer, snowman, and Santa attacked from all angles, and when he fought back, their bodies would fall to the ground looking mangled. What on earth was this, he thought? Possibly a glitch the game has brought. But as he played through it, it only got worse. Graphic scenes of holiday characters dead. It seemed to be a curse. He tried to turn off his console, but the screen stayed lit, and when his avatar was struck, it felt like in real life he was hit. They swarmed and attacked until it was too late. It seemed that death would be his fate, and then he awoke. It was a dream, and in that moment from downstairs, he heard a scream.